And 30 years after this incident, they attempted to use it against me in an attempt to run me some time ago. Suge Knight seemed to talk about how he was aware of the dynamics inside Diddy's family, and this knowledge almost put him in danger. You ask whether the incident in question really got serious when you got married. Additionally, observe it, as it turns out there is a lot more to this tale. This MF Wolf brings this, I believe it's a magazine, and SH Knight was in a photo with Misa. This time, Justin Combs himself appears to have clarified things, claiming that Suge Knight is the only one who has allegedly provided protection. The story started with Suge Knight trolling Diddy by posting a photo on social media, which he and his mother threw out. Danny Boy confirmed this further. Yeah, man, whatever her first son was like, he would be at the studio with me. Justin, I remember Justin being in a hotel with me. This post continued Suge's conversations on his Collect Call podcast regarding the SA lawsuits targeting Diddy on the show. Suge accused Diddy of having an assistant while at the same time beating the S out of MF Cassie. The media featured Diddy's son, Justin Combs, and Justin's mother, Misa Hilton. The snapshot captured a moment from Justin's toddler years. He felt that Cap was being secretive about whether or not she was playing with Puffy. He beat the shit out of her, as reported by Suge. Not only did he beat the shit out of her, but he also used an Interscope check to pay her to settle so he wouldn't have to go to jail. Suge also made light of the prospect of having Diddy as a cellmate, saying in a mocking tone, "Puffy, I don't want to see you go down, but if you need an S, I'ma grant your ass, my cell boy, have your cook game working. I don't want no head, but you're going to be cleaning toilets." Suge Knight revealed a picture of himself playing with Diddy's son Justin Combs when he was still a baby during a conversation about his relationship with Diddy's baby mother, Misa Hilton, on his podcast Collect Calls. This picture was taken during the height of the East versus West Coast beef, as Gene described it as Puff getting furious because Wolf showed him a photo following his interview with Vlad TV. Gone Deal thought back to the occasion when Suge Knight posed with Diddy's infant son and 2-year-old daughter Justin Gone Deal, who worked as Diddy's security guard in the 9S, recalled the evening he was about to wrap up his responsibilities when a momentous discovery took place. Wolf arrived and was like, "Yo Puff, look at this." He had this magazine. Gene remembered seeing Suge on Vlad TV, where he was in the magazine with Misa, his arms around her while she had Justin Combs in her arms. The picture was offensive, but the caption, according to Gone Deal, made things even worse. It said what the... This photo became the breaking point, and according to Gone Deal, there was no turning back from it that way. He saw Diddy's intense reaction, noting that I saw a vein coming out of that kid's forehead and neck, and then he was screaming and hollering on the phone for Diddy. Photo, but Puff was not coming back from it. Gene also disclosed that Eric B., who would soon become the president of Death Row East, was in New York meeting with Biggie to try to help settle the East-West Coast rivalry. Diddy, however, was not interested in taking part in any truce talks, despite the fact that many people. I wondered why Misa did not give Diddy priority. You must have noticed that there are claims coming to light regarding Diddy's problematic past with women. The rapper is currently the target of numerous accusations from a number of women, including forced abortions, physical abuse, and involvement with Saint Cassandra Ventura. One of the accusers has filed a lawsuit against Diddy. After years of quiet and darkness, the federal district court in Manhattan is bringing further allegations against Combs to light. Ventura told the New York Times, "I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence in their relationships." Known for 10 years as Cassie, stated in her lawsuit that she first met Combs in 2005 when she was 19 years old, and he was 37 at the time she was signed to his label, Bad Boy Records. About a year later, people on Combs' team allegedly started bringing up his romantic interest in Ventura, even though she had expressed no interest in a relationship. The lawsuit claims that he took on a fatherly role in her life and that, after Miss Ventura turned 21, he forced her to have intimate relations for the first time at an after-party in a hotel suite. Miss Ventura was uncomfortable with the idea of dating because of their significant age gap. Miss Ventura did not consent to this unwanted contact, so she immediately fled the bathroom and the hotel suite and sobbed. At the time, she told her best friend about what had happened, but was too afraid to tell anyone else because she was romantically involved with the man. Model and actress Kim Porter claims that the day after the Video Music Awards, Ventura was criticized for going with her boyfriend. She says he gave her a pill and told her to take it within the month that he allegedly paid a promoter to make a false flyer promoting a Miami party. Declared in the lawsuit was to split Ventura off from her boyfriend and convince her to go to Florida with Combs, even though she was afraid and hesitant to go. The lawsuit claims that she thought she had no other choice during this trip to Miami, where Mr. Collins gave Miss Ventura a lot of D, causing her to become more inebriated than she had ever been. She felt she could not refuse Mr. Combs's urging her to take more D after giving her Mr. Combs had sex with Miss Ventura during this trip, and her intoxication persisted throughout the weekend trip as she wanted Mr. Combs to continue supporting her career. Ventura and Mr. Combs eventually became romantically involved during this trip, which he provided for her financially by paying for her car and apartments in both New York and California. Notably, these homes were conveniently close to Combs' homes by foot, according to the lawsuit. Every aspect of Miss Ventura's life was strictly regulated by Mr. Combs or his management entities, so yes, it's a little bit of a complete shift in energy, so I'm not exactly sure what was going on there as the relationship developed. However, it is reported that Combs became physically abusive to the point where Ventura required medical attention when she was 22 years old. Combs also allegedly engaged in what he called freakouts, or episodes involving Miss Ventura was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excess amounts during the FOS, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrifying encounters. Mr. Combs, the person trafficking her, always provided her and the sorer with copious amounts of D before and during the FOS. It became customary to receive 4 fluids in the days following a fever, to recover from the excessive substances forced upon her in circumstances in which Ventura refused to participate. The lawsuit alleges that Combs' security team forced her participation despite her repeated attempts to flee. In September of 2018, Combs' employees allegedly forcibly returned her. Ventura decided to end her relationship with Combs, claiming that she was exposed to Mr. Combs entered her apartment by force and attempted to kiss Miss Ventura. She refused, and she tried to push him away. Mr. Combs then forcibly removed Miss Ventura's clothes and unbuckled his belt before going to our Miss Ventura, to whom she repeatedly said no and made attempts to push him away. Despite moving away, Ventura took steps to completely distance herself from her longtime partner, including returning the car he bought her and leaving the house he paid for. In early 2019, Miss Ventura's address was posted online, raising concerns for her safety. Ventura underwent intense trauma therapy, checked herself into a de-addiction treatment facility, and received other medical care. In order to address the injuries she sustained, the lawsuit claims that she will always be affected physically and psychologically by the more than 10 years of abuse, fear, and exploitation she experienced. Eventually, she married and had children, whom she believes helped to rescue her from the trauma that had taken over 10 years of her life. It's important to note that Cassie was not the first woman to sue Diddy, alleging both physical and emotional abuse. Throughout history, numerous women have done so against rapper Aubrey O'Day. The singer, who was a member of a girl group put together by Combs, claimed that he tried to take advantage of her and claimed that she was. Donady Kane was fired from the group for not living up to expectations unrelated to talent. However, Gone Deal also claimed that Combs had physically abused other girlfriends, including breaking Kim Porter's nose in a YouTube video where she said, "You used to be a woman beater, talk about how you used to beat Mises Tana, talk about how you tried to beat Kim's of Virginia Fi." In an interview with YouTuber Tasha K, Virginia V revealed that Combs forced her to have abortions on 2 separate occasions. The first time was in October 2014, when she said, "Well, I told him I was pregnant, and he offered me $50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just wanted to be with him, and I was trying to show that I wasn't the girl who wanted him for money. He said, "You're going to get an abortion right now." I just wanted him to be kind to me, that's all. Tasha K then intervened, offering $50,000 to abort a baby W, implying that he must really want it gone bad. In August 2022, Virginia revealed that she had become pregnant once more, suggesting that there was some coercion involved in the conception. "I have this period app, and it lets me know when I'm ovulating and other things, so I told him." She advised me not to do it, but he persisted, and when I became pregnant, he said, "Okay, just get an abortion," like no hesitation, but this time was more difficult for me because I had been with him for a long time, and I was truly in love with him. She said through tears that I only agreed to the abortion because he urged me to, and that when the procedure was over, he had to leave for a festival in the Nevada desert called Burning Man. "Go through that, and then he went to Burning Man," she said, sobbing. "He just left me, like, fucked up. Since Burning Man is a desert, he didn't have service, so I couldn't reach him there or receive his texts. It was like I was just at home by myself, just fucked up in my head, and he didn't even care." She told Tasha K that he was abusing me physically, mentally, and emotionally. He would constantly make comparisons between Cassie and me, telling me that Cassie was the good one and I was the bad one. She also claimed that everyone in Combs' circle had allowed the incident to happen. A video clip of Gina H. has come to light. The well-known musician Gina Hewen publicly acknowledged her relationship with the "I'll Be Missing You" singer in June 2019 and shared a video of them kissing on Instagram. In a 3-part interview with Tasha K in 2019, the ex-girlfriend of Sean Diddy detailed allegations of physical and mental abuse. That Diddy mistreated her mentally, emotionally, and physically. She described horrific events, such as violently stomping on her stomach, hurling a heel at her, covering her face until it bled, and punching her in the head to prevent her from hitting her face. She said that even though witnesses were aware of the abuse, no one intervened except for one person. Dubbed Drock in response to the claims, Combs' attorney denied the charges against him in a statement to the New York Times, while Ventura's attorney asserted that Combs offered a sizable financial settlement in the 8-figure range to stop her from pursuing legal action and to silence her regarding a national study on forced abortion in the United. The study featured the testimony of a former security guard at an abortion facility who told the Massachusetts legislature that women were frequently brought to the clinic by their abusive partners to ensure they followed through with the abortions. States revealed that 64% of women who had undergone abortions felt pressured to do so. Among these women, 65% exhibited signs of trauma. The abortions, in addition to a 2007 study by the Guttmacher Institute, cited studies showing a higher risk of violence during pregnancy as a result of a partner's jealousy of the unborn child and heightened sense of possessiveness toward the pregnant partner. It appears that he was successful in achieving all of these goals in a separate legal matter. Diddy, the former personal chef. In 2017, Ruela filed a lawsuit against him. Among the allegations were that she was not paid for overtime and that he had taken retaliatory actions. She also claimed that she was often required to serve meals to Diddy and his friends right after private moments in which the men were allegedly naked. The lawsuit also included an instance in which Diddy asked Ruela if she liked. "When I used to watch Diddy swing, it was always with him over the Thanksgiving weekend of 2023. The lawsuit was settled without terms being made public. The emergence of these additional accusations and legal proceedings raises further questions about the dynamics of Diddy's conduct and interactions with those in his vicinity. 2 distinct lawsuits were filed against him, both alleging that he had the first, which Rolling Stone revealed, was brought by a former student at Syracuse University College. She claimed that Combs D and SA had recorded the incident and then shared it as retaliation. The second lawsuit is linked to an alleged RNA against the plaintiff and her friend in 1990 or 1991. Rolling Stone reported that days after the alleged incident, Combs went back to the victim's home and violently attacked them. Before these latest allegations, Combs was charged with assaulting his son's football coach in 2015. He was also allegedly involved in a physical altercation with Kid Cudi at a club in 2012 and was facing legal action for. Combs admitted to a lesser charge of allegedly planning an A on a promoter in 2007 after assaulting the president of Interscope Records with a chair, phone, and champagne bottle. The altercation started because he didn't like an NS video he thought was blasphemous, which showed two men crucifying The judge sentenced Combs to 1 day in an anger management program. The series of these incidents raises serious concerns about Combs' behavior and interactions over the years. Diddy threatened to blow up Kid-Size car after learning that Combs had allegedly beaten her. The filing then claims that shortly after Diddy made that threat, Kid-Size car actually blew up. The rapper best known for the song I'll Be Missing You has had several monikers throughout his career, including Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and Love. He has been romantically linked to a number of well-known people, including Jennifer Lopez and Cassie. However, his most lasting relationship was with Kim Porter, whom he started dating in the 1990s and ended in. Diddy and Kim Porter started dating in the 1990s, and they celebrated the birth of their first child in 2007. Tragically, Porter passed away in 2018. During their time together, she and Diddy raised 4 children. However, I knew someone who was going through something similar, and that someone was Kim Porter. I didn't know Cassie. Diddy and Porter's relationship remained close despite their breakup a year after Christian's birth and their ongoing legal battles over custody. However, their relationship was characterized by periods of on and off. Diddy and Porter's dynamics faced significant strain when Porter learned in 2006 that Diddy was expecting a child with his friend Sarah Chapman. Happened while Porter was expecting the twins, Delilah Starr and Jesse James, who were born in December of that year. Porter felt betrayed and saw this as a breach of trust, which ultimately led to the end of their relationship in July 2007. It seems like what Porter went through was similar to what Kim went through. In spite of their differences, Diddy and Porter remained close friends, upheld their role as devoted parents to their kids, and frequently expressed admiration for one another after Porter passed away in 2018. Diddy continued to post sincere messages about Porter, praising her exceptional motherhood, but it's important to note that he has been criticized for his previous behavior. In relationships with past girlfriends, someone wrote that Puff ought to be deprived of everything that has been bestowed upon him, including awards and endorsements. Tupac was correct in his song Against All Odds, but Puff did some things that he shouldn't have done. Another person added that the most terrifying aspect of it all is that all of this happened while these people were living this kind of hell and murders, and now you're all coming forward, Jaguar right. You've been screaming that these atrocities were being committed, so why is there another person added with all this information, and Diddy stays unscathed? We have to trust that everything they say about the music business and the people who manage artists is real. Diddy, Puffy brother, love whatever. It's normal for people to feel sorry for him because he calls himself the devil and a monster these days. The worst thing that happened to his first son, Justin Combs, at the beginning of the year was that he was charged with 2 misdemeanors in connection with his recent DUI arrest. Justin Combs was arrested for driving under the influence on Sunday morning near Beverly Hills without juice. The 29-year-old was pulled over by police and charged with driving under the influence and having a blood alcohol content, BAC, exceeding 0.8%. Court documents obtained by Radar Online on July 3 RD shed light on the legal proceedings following the incident on June 27. Following his early morning run, a pre-trial conference was also set for August 10 in Los Angeles, California. Although it was unclear what would happen if Justin were found guilty of either or both charges, he was later able to avoid going to jail. He was arrested on June 4 close to Beverly Hills, when Combs was arrested for driving while intoxicated after being stopped by the police for running a red light. After a preliminary investigation, the former college football star, who is now an actor and producer, was charged with a misdemeanor DUI and given a $5,000 bond. News of the arrest prompted Justin Combs' mother, Misa Hilton. Fish rots from the head down, which means that in addition to being a major contributing factor in a family or organization's success, the woman began her Instagram story tirade by sending a series of irate and barely concealed messages toward Diddy, her son's father. Is also the root cause of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free to act bad. She added, referencing Puff's latest single with City Girls and Fabulous Act Bad Bad Boy. I used to want to be a bad girl, I chose to be a queen, tried and true, I'm not perfect, but I am intentional. Hilton continued,